Alright, in this video, I'm kind of doing a little bit of an extension of my ingredients series. If you have no idea what that is, then you're about to know what that is. It's where we talk about a specific ingredient used in perfumery and just give you a bunch of fragrances that use that ingredient prominently and feature it in some unique ways. Now, normally I would choose just one ingredient, but in this video, we're actually going to focus on several ingredients and kind of lump them together as a vibe, and that is tropical, a tropical vibe. Now, usually these are going to be fruity ingredients, so that's why we're going with a juicy theme. But not every single one of these fragrances is explicitly fruity or juicy, but all of them will give this kind of warm weather, beachy, perhaps tropical vibe that just kind of makes you think of being in a nice, beautiful place, maybe on vacation, something along those lines. Now, one thing I will get out of the way, I'm not a huge fan of coconut. Me and coconut don't really get along that well in any form. I don't mind it when it's used as a supporting player, but super coconut forward fragrances, not really my thing. So I'm not gonna have the best recommendations as far as highly coconut heavy fragrances, but some of these will have a little bit of coconut in there, just so you know. But we're gonna be seeing ingredients like mango, pineapple, fig. There's gonna be some sweeter citruses that can lend to that tropical feel. There's gonna be, again, a little bit of coconut here and there, and we're even gonna see a little bit of ylang, which is a flower, but it is known to have a pretty overtly tropical feel. Some people say it smells a little bit like bananas. I totally agree with that. We're going to see a little bit of that in this list. And normally I would separate the fragrances based on accessibility, wearability, artistic creativity, things like that. But all of these fragrances I would consider to be very easy to understand, very easy to wear for just about any level of fragrance enthusiast. So instead of divvying it up by my typical beginner, intrigued, and enthusiast, I'm actually gonna just keep it simple and divvy it up based on price range. So it'll make it maybe a little bit more practical for some of you guys trying to decide if these fragrances are for you, specifically looking at the dollars. Everything will be linked down in the description as usual, so let's dive right into it. Our first price range, and this is a rough range, is going to be about $50 to $100. Now, some of these fragrances you might find for a little bit over $100. Maybe some you could find for a little bit less than 50. It really depends on where and when you look, but that's the general range. The first fragrance up is a designer fragrance. This is from the house of Kenzo, and this is called Kenzo Homme Marine. And as per the name, as per the look, yes, it is an aquatic forward fragrance. It is salty, seaweedy, oceanic, fresh. That vibe is definitely here, but that is just kind of the surface. All in all, this fragrance is quite fruity, but primarily by way of ylang ylang. Ylang ylang is the primary fruity component, so it does have this kind of tropical, fresh, floral banana feel, all wrapped up in this oceanic salty freshness. And I know a lot of guys might equate ylang ylang to a more feminine vibe to a scent, and it certainly can be when it's forward, but the way that it mixes with the aquatic nature here makes it perfectly masculine. It's a very fun fragrance to wear on a hot day, but there's something about it that's a little bit more special, a little bit more interesting than your typical just blue fragrance. And for those who care, the performance for me is really good. I don't love all of Quentin Biche's works, but I do have to say most of the stuff he makes just lasts a long time. Whatever he's using, highly fixative ingredients, will last pretty much all day on your skin. So that is our first pick. That is Kenzo Homme Marine. This next fragrance doesn't feature any super overly fruity tropical ingredients, but it does feature a bit of coconut, some citruses, and rum. Now, rum is not a fruit, right? But it is often associated with these tropical feeling drinks or just sentiments, and it works so well here to just really transport you to, honestly, Rio. It's in the name. This is still life in Rio. This is a beautiful fragrance. One of my favorite summer fragrances. It is so lovely. I get this crushed sugar texture and sweetness to it. It's still fresh. The coconut lends a little bit of this slightly sun vibe, like almost like a solar feel, very, very mildly. I don't get coconut milk or coconut oil or not even anything overtly like suntan lotion. It's just enough of a touch kind of filling out the heart of the scent, but it is primarily bright citruses, a little bit of an herbal feel. It's sweet with the rum and again this sugary feel. It's just a fun fragrance, but it's a little bit less casual than something like the Kenzo. I feel like you could kind of dress this up, maybe a little bit more like a shirt like this, maybe day or evening if you're going to be at a nice restaurant, maybe out on the patio or in the open air and the sun's going down and there's going to be a breeze, but you still want something kind of fresh and summery and tropical feeling, but a little bit more classed up, then this might be one to consider. Still Life in Rio. Let me know what you think if you've tried it. This one is a favorite of many. It's been around in some time and I know a lot of people really enjoy it. It's a very pervasive scent profile. It is so fruity, so juicy, so mouth-watering. It might be a bit much for you. You have been warned. But as a result, it has a really distinctive personality. This is Mancera Sicily. It has like every fruit and citrus and floral. It is a fruity floral fragrance through and through, but it has just the right amount of bitterness, of tanginess, of maybe even a bit of a sour nature like lemon or something that kind of offsets it so it doesn't feel just overly like fruit juice. I love the semi-natural feeling citruses in there that add a bit of this kind of mouth-watering bite to add some balance to the peach and whatever the heck else is in here. It's so freaking fruity. It's very powerful. It lasts all day. It can be a little syrupy if you spray too much. Do not overspray this one. It becomes very obnoxious quickly. So let me know what you think of Sicily if you've tried this one. I do recommend this one for the summer if you're not afraid of a very overly fruity and fairly floral fragrance. It is perfectly unisex. Some guys might say it's more for women. I might agree with that. I don't wear it all that much, but on occasion, I'm in the mood for 1 or 2 sprays of this. And especially when I'll be outdoors, it just has a really uplifting, pleasant vibe. Mancera Sicily. One of my absolute favorite fig fragrances in the world is Diptyque Philosykos. They have an eau de parfum version. I don't have that. I haven't spent much time with it. I have the eau de toilette version, which is a light scent. Some of you guys feel like if you're going to spend $100 on a niche fragrance, if it doesn't last more than 8 hours, then it is worthless. Then yeah, you're going to be disappointed with this one more than likely if you blind buy it. So you heard it from me. You've been warned. I think it's beautiful. I think it's perfectly made the way it is. It is fig, it is fruity, it is kind of juicy, but it's a more green, leafy, fruity fig with woods, a little bit of coconut in here as well. It's paying homage to the fig tree, the branches, the leaves, of course, the fruit, and the overall vibe here, especially with that coconut, it does feel like something to wear under the sun. It does give you this vibe that I'm going for, the tropical vacation without being overly fruity. Really beautiful, a great take on this type of profile, very authentic and super timeless. Like, can't believe this came out in the 1990s. You would not think it when you smelled it. It transcends the time it came out. Let me know what you think of Philosykos from Diptyque if you've tried it. Let's move to our second tier. This is $150 to $250. Most of these fragrances can be found for the lower side of that range, but I have seen it higher, so it will depend on, again, where and when you look. The first one up here is from Zaharoff. This is called CoCoLoCo. CoCoLoCo. It's as fun as it looks. There's some sweet citruses in here like clementine, maybe tangerine. It's sweet orange that I get out of this, but it's so authentic. It's so well done. And as per the name, quite a bit of coconut in here. I do believe it is meant to pay homage to Carnival in Brazil, and you can see it by the label. They're just really going for that vibe, I believe. Perhaps maybe the most coconut forward fragrance on this list, but still not too much, at least for me. But if you do really like coconut and you're looking for more of it, this might be the one to go for. It's more pronounced here. It's more on that milky side of things, but the citrus is a beautiful addition to it to give it some pop, to give it a nice clear face, juicy, mouth-watering. Such a fun fragrance to wear under the sun. I honestly don't wear it enough. I'm going to try to wear it some more this summer. Let me know what you think of CoCoLoCo from Zaharoff if you've tried it. Now, I know a lot of you guys are going to be like,
well, if you're going to talk about tropical or vacation type fragrances, you have to talk about Creed Virgin Island Water. You have to. And if you don't, you're wrong.
Well, consider me wrong in this video. I'm not talking about Virgin Island Water because I don't have it. I do like it, but I just like the opening of it more than I like the dry down. I love that lime. Man, that lime, one of the best lime notes I've ever tried in a fragrance. But once it's gone, it's kind of just musky coconut to me on my skin, and it's just not the most enjoyable. Again, not a huge coconut fan. So I'm going with the fragrance that is not necessarily meant to smell like Virgin Island Water. It's not a clone of it as far as I know. It's not modeled after it, but it does kind of resemble it a bit. It can scratch that fix for those who are looking for that profile, but maybe with better performance. This is from Day 3 Fragrances. It's called Baní. Now you're going to find this in a different and, dare I say, better looking bottle these days. This is an older style bottle. This stuff reminds me of Virgin Island water. It's in that ballpark, but it's just a little bit more dense. Maybe doesn't change a ton on my skin, but as a result, it maintains a lot of that opening, a lot of that citrus I get for longer on my skin, and that just makes it way more enjoyable. The coconut is not quite as pronounced, and it seems to be kind of shrouded by maybe some musky elements in there, some airy elements. It is a beautiful, fun fragrance. If you like Virgin Island water, you would definitely like this fragrance. I can't say more or less, but at the very least, just as much. This is Baní from day 3. Let me know if you've tried it. And I did recently feature this in a video where I was talking about fragrances I previously did not really care for and that have grown on me and now I really like. This is one of them. This is from Kajal. This is called Äican. Pineapple, passion fruit. Primarily what you get here, very juicy, sweet, kind of a dripping feel and its fruitiness, but behind that, it's almost like resinous, almost ambery warm. It doesn't dry quite as fresh and fruity. It dries warm, it dries deep and sensual in a way, and just has a beautiful groundedness to it. But the overall vibe that I get is pretty tropical, but it's definitely more evening focused, I would say. I would save this for when the sun is going down. It can still do okay with some warmth, but not heat of the day, not sun high in the sky. I would save it for, again, later when it's a little bit more mild, when the breeze has a little bit more of a refreshing quality to it. This can be a beautiful scent for those evenings. Great sillage. Smells fairly unique, gonna get some nice attention. Äican from Kajal. And our final category, we've kind of moved up in a pyramid fashion here with more at the bottom, less at the top. Not intended that way, it's just how it shook out. 250 to 300 plus range. Maybe you could find some of these a little less than 250, but not by much. They're going to be expensive. They're going to be quality. They're going to be most of what you're looking for when you're spending a high price on a fragrance. They're going to give you that performance. If you want longevity, they're going to give you a relatively unique and distinctive scent profile. They're going to smell of high quality. It's going to smell like you got what you pay for. This first one up is from Loumari. It's called Porthole. I've held off talking about this fragrance for some time because it was unavailable for a while. In fact, the whole brand kind of shut down for a second. They just kind of put a hold on their operations and they weren't really distributing their fragrances for some time, and it's because they were making some changes. At the very least, I know that they redid their bottle design. I don't know if they've done anything else behind the scenes, but this fragrance now comes in a new bottle that I believe looks a billion times more attractive than this. This bottle is fine, but the new one, beautiful. So you're going to see it here on screen. Also a passion fruit and pineapple forward fragrance as far as fruits go. Very juicy, fruity, mouth-watering, but there's a little bit of an aquatic feel behind this. And honestly, when I first tried this fragrance, I was thrown off a bit because I was expecting something a little bit more overtly aquatic. The aquatic nature is secondary in this scent. The fruitiness is definitely first, but I love the addition of the aquatics. A little bit of a sea breeze feel, a little bit of this oceanic feel. Not quite as pronounced as the Kenzo. Kenzo is definitely more aquatic for sure. Less here. If you want more aquatic, go for the Kenzo. If you want less aquatic, more fruity, go for Porthole. Great staying power, it lasts a long time. Develops beautifully on the skin, smells of great quality, lovely fragrance. I'm going to link to Porthole down below with a little discount if you're interested in such a thing. And again, you'll be getting that new bottle. I have the old one. I'm out of date, but let me know what you think of Porthole if you've checked it out. And final fragrance, this is from Unique Luxury. Beautiful presentation here, very distinctive scent profile. Not one I'm always in the mood for because it is so particular, but I can't deny it's beautiful. It's so well done. If you love mango, then this is a mango lover's dream, and it's called Mangonifiscent. Wow. I get this almost honeyed mango. I think I used the term dripping earlier. This is the drippiest of drip when it comes to the fruitiness here. It feels like putting a ripe slice of mango in your mouth, that juiciness, the way it makes your mouth water. You guys know what I'm talking about, the suppleness of the fruit. Now, all that being said, it's very intense. So strong, almost too strong. I can't do more than 2 sprays of this, otherwise I'm overwhelmed. I get tired of it throughout the day. But if I wear it on a day when I'll mostly be outside and I just do that like 2 sprays, I will smell it all day long, especially if I'm spraying around the back of the neck, like sides of the ears kind of thing, behind the ears and not the front. Man, you will smell this for the duration. It's not going anywhere and everyone will notice it. It's a strong scent profile, so it's a commitment. You got to be ready for this one. But once again, I do think you get what you pay for when you're paying a price for a fragrance like this. If you love mango, this is probably something you want to put on your body, and definitely going to be better than just rubbing mango on your body. That's way stickier than this. Anyway, Unique Luxury Mangonifiscent. Let me know what you think of it. If you've tried it, let me know what you think of any of these fragrances. If you've checked them out, once again, if you haven't checked them out, they'll be linked in the description. I want to thank you so much for tuning in. Peace. I'll see you in the next one.